One TJ Terrell.
All right.
Greenville, South Carolina. I'm an undergraduate student at Luther Rice College and Seminary.
All right.
My degree is Bachelor of Arts in Religion. I'll be done next year, and then hopefully we're looking
Then
to
he's
see.
coming to Wake Dead.
That's all right.
It's already done. It's already done. Come to the ministerial.
Let us pray. Gracious and eternal Father, do what you're already doing. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
The text today will be coming from Luke's Gospel, chapter 5.
All right.
Gospel of Luke, chapter 5. I'll just read one verse. Right here I'll be reading from the New Living Translation. Reading verse 4, he said, when he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish. I want to preach a little while this afternoon. When too much is too much.
Oh, I'm talking about preach stuff.
It is one of America's most traveled evangelists and popular Bible conference speakers, Vance Havner, who once quoted, many people are in a rut. And a rut is nothing but a grave with both ends kicked out. And life at times will bring about trouble that will place you in a rut. And trouble is not a respecter of persons. It does not discriminate, because trouble will visit the black man as well as the white man. It will visit the rich woman as well as the poor woman. It will visit the blue-collar worker as well as the white-collar worker. It doesn't matter who you are, what you think you are, all about the trouble will find its way to you. And sometimes you can feel like you're just in a rut. Sometimes you can feel like you're just spinning wheels and not getting anywhere, feeling like you're trying your best to just make things better in your life, but not only is things getting better in your life, but things aren't even getting worse either. It looks like life is just in a rut. It feels like the more and more you try to figure it out, the more conversations and counseling you receive, the more you try to apply what others have advised you to do, you still find yourself in the same situation to see that your life is still in a rut. And thing is that trouble is true, is that trouble don't last always, but one thing that they failed to mention to us was how long trouble will last, because sometimes you don't get out of it overnight. Sometimes it's not just a few days. Sometimes it's not a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Sometimes it just seems like every morning when you wake up, you awaken to the same trouble, have to go throughout the day with the same burden, go to bed at night with the same problem that you had when you woke up with the next morning, woke up the next day, and the same trouble that met you on yesterday is still waiting on you today. And it looks like you're going through day after day. You hear the preacher and your friends and your counselor, and they're just too busy trying to tell you how things are going to come together, how things are going to be better and look up for you. But when you look around, it looks like that message is applying to everybody but you. Every time you turn around, somebody is telling you how things are going to change and how things are going to look up. But every time you look around, you still see yourself in the same sad scenario. Every time you look around, it just not looks like it's going to get better. But if you can just hold on for a little while, just make it do whatever you're going through. And here's the thing that you're missing this afternoon. Maybe he hasn't made it better. Maybe he hasn't changed it. But every morning that you wake up, you can still shout that I'm making it. Maybe you're sick, but you're still making it. Maybe you're broke, but you're still making it. Maybe you're still talked about, but you're still making it. Maybe there's trouble at your house, but you're still making it. And if I can't shout about nothing else, I can shout that I have made it. I'm making it. And when too much is too much, you first have to realize that you have to push through inconvenience. And as we look at our text, we see that the people have pressed their way upon Jesus to hear a word from God. They probably just heard of all the miracles he's done in Capernaum and came to witness it for themselves. And it's all right when you hear from someone else what Jesus has done, but sometimes you just got to see it for yourself. Sometimes you want to experience him from yourself. And as they pressed their way upon him, he was standing beside the lake of Gennesaret, or a place we know as the Sea of Galilee. And as we see Jesus preaching, he noticed two empty boats on the shore, but the fishermen were not in them, for they were washing their nets. We see that one of the fishermen to be Simon, and the other one more likely to be his business partner and brother Andrew. And fishing was a common trade for someone living near the Sea of Galilee, because the Sea of Galilee, as you lived on that coast, a lot of men did fishing. The thing is about the Sea of Galilee, it's 13 miles long, 8 miles wide, and sits right in between mountains and valleys, and as the cool out rushes off the mountains and the hills and swoops down into the valley and rests upon the shores of the Sea of Galilee. And history tells us that many have claimed their lives due to death in the Sea of Galilee. There are major thunderstorms. So basically, you had to be a boss to work these waters.
All right.
All right now.
These fishermen usually fished at night, and in the morning would be busy drying, salting, and packaging the fish for sale. But the Bible tells us that they were doing none of these three things. We can see that it is morning time now, and they're simply packing up their stuff and getting ready to go home. And we can see that the men have given up because they stopped fishing even after catching nothing, as it tells us in verse 5. They got so discouraged that they gave up on the only thing that will support them and their family, because with no catch, there is no selling, which equals to no income. And as I study, fishermen will hardly ever be washing the nets, as they would be too busy repairing them from the big catch. But we can make an inference that they did not catch anything, for one, because it tells us later in the text, but two, it gives it away right here. And how does it give it away? We have to look at the text. They're simply washing their nets. Question is, if you didn't catch anything, why are you washing your nets? Fishermen would be washing their nets only if they had been in shallow water, collecting all of the sand, the soil, and the dirt, all the things you would consider filthy. So basically, they got caught up fishing in some mess. And there's some people here that ain't been able to catch anything, but been fishing in some mess. Ever since you made that decision, stuff has turned out for the worst. Ever since you haven't been able to get back on your feet, and you're wondering why you haven't progressed since you've been hanging out with this group, or wondering why you haven't been elevated since you've been hanging out with this group. You say you're supposed to be on CEO status, but here you are still down here mopping floors. You say you're supposed to be moving on up like the Jefferson's family, but last time I checked, you was still staying beside the Evans family. Especially if you don't have anything. Maybe I've been hanging around in the dirt a little bit too long. Maybe I've been dwelling in the mess a little too long, and I gotta wash some stuff off. As they're washing their nets, Jesus makes what many will call an inconvenient request. Anyone who's had experience in this Christian service, being a missionary or a preacher, can testify that service often conflicts with many things in life. This was true with Simon in this incident. Because verse 3, he tells us that Jesus stepped into the boat and then asked Simon to push it out into the water. But we can see three ways that this was inconvenient. One, because Simon was busy. Simon had just got done fishing and was washing his net. Secondly, Simon probably was tired. He was weary when Jesus asked this request. He had been up all night and he didn't catch a nap nor a fish. And thirdly, Simon, I'm sure, was desolate. It had been an unsuccessful night of fishing. He worked hard and he didn't catch anything. I'm sure this made him unhappy and not in a pleasant mood, but with Jesus knowing Simon wasn't in the mood to be bothered, still asked something of him. But what are you going to do when you're tired and frustrated and you got too much going on, but the Lord still asked you to do some work even in your mess? You can't put God's business on hold, because he sure enough didn't put you on hold. When you needed a way out of no way, he didn't tell you he was too tired. When you needed that bill to be paid up, he didn't say I was too busy. When that drama popped out, he didn't say I got too much going on to be worried about your stuff. He stepped right in and he took care of what needed to be handled. You may not like the way he handled it, but he did things according to his will and not yours. He stepped in and took care of that situation, and you missed the shout right there because he had just stepped into Simon's boat. And you may ask, why Simon? Because why did Jesus single out Simon? Because Simon had a problem, and Simon needed the most help. And at this very moment, Jesus wants to use Simon's problem to minister to his people. What you may see as problems, Jesus sees as potential. And Simon has now demonstrated the trust and faith by giving Jesus his most prized possession, because right now he has no fish, and the only thing valuable to him is the boat in which he catches the fish on. He has given it to Jesus. He's now just allowed Jesus to step into his situation. Jesus is now on his boat. Jesus is now standing in part of Simon's problem. The thing is, when we have problems, we want to allow Jesus to step in, because we've allowed Dr. Phil and Iyanla and everybody else to step aside of our problems. Step in and And I'm wondering, is there anybody here that can declare that I've done some wrong, I made some mistakes, I got into some problems that I brought upon myself, but it's me that's been dealing with situation after situation, because I'm the one that's been frustrated, I'm the one that's been working hard and still ain't got nothing to show for it. It's just too much for me. Every time I seem to take one step forward, I get knocked 3 steps back. Every time things are looking up for me, something just keeps tumbling down. Nothing has been going right, but Jesus, you have got to step in my boat.
All right.
You have got to step in my situation. When too much is too much, you have to push through inconvenience. But secondly, you have to propel to your position.
All right.
Because many times in life, we fail to achieve anything by being out of position. We have all heard of the old saying, being at the right place at the right time. But I would like to argue that you can be at the right place at the right time and still not be in position to receive whatever it is you're expecting.
All right.
When I was in high school, I played defensive end. By playing this position, it allowed me to see my surroundings and examine the field as a whole. And as I would play, I would begin to be at the right place at the right time simply because I was playing in the right position. But as my coaches would experiment and move me around from my spot, they noticed that the production decreased as I may have been in the right place at the right time but could not make the play because I was out of position.
All right.
And many of us can do the right things and say the right things and still not be in position to catch whatever it is we're trying to get. We went to the right school and got the right degrees and still not have a job. We didn't dress the right way, said the right thing, and still not have the relationship. We didn't pay down the debt, got the credit score right, and still not to be able to get the house. And let me tell you that every now and then you just need to follow where life is trying to take you, and sometimes it's taking you through a twist and a twirl, and it's putting you in a position that you can get what God has in store for you. And when God gets you to that place in the right time and that right problem, don't you dare think that all problems are bad. Problems can push you. Problems can motivate you. Problems can birth a purpose that will propel you to your position. He can turn your problem into a praise. He'll turn your tragedy into a triumph. He'll turn your valley into a mountain. We see in the text that after Jesus teaches, he then tells Simon to go out into the deep and let your nets down for a catch. We're going to pinpoint the C clause in verse 4 that says, launch out into the deep. While Simon may have been in the right place at the lake, in the right time, he was not in the right position. How do I know? Remember when they were washing their nets, but they didn't catch anything, and they washed their nets because they were filthy. Washing their nets probably from the sand, the soil, and the dirt lets us know that they were too close to the shore while they were fishing. They were near shallow water. And at times Jesus will have to send you away from all the filthy stuff to get to what you really need. He wants to see how far you will go to get what's already yours. You can't expect something big fishing around in a kiddie pool being able to see what you can. But Jesus said, I want you to go out to the deep where you can't see nothing swimming around and let down your nets. What is the deep? The deep is your faith. And the reason we're not in position to receive is because our faith is not yet deep enough. The deeper we go with him, the farther we'll grow in him. And just maybe we've been believing in things just too small. Our obstacle has been that our faith is operating on a minute level. He told the disciples in Matthew 17, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell this mountain to move. But Jesus, what if I got faith the size of a mountain? What could stop us then? It's time to get deeper. We could grow the church if we got deeper. More souls will be saved if we got deeper. Marriages will be restored if we got deeper. Sickness will be healed if we got deeper. Our ministries would expand if we got deeper. The kingdom would grow if we got deeper. And I'm so glad that when Jesus saw our sin problem and he saw that it was too much to handle, so he said, let me go deeper. Let me push through inconvenience and propel to my position upon an old rugged cross. When too much is too much, he took thorns on his head. When too much was too much, he took nails in his hands and a spike in his feet. When too much was too much, he died. I believe on a hill, one called Calvary and one Friday, but early, he got up with all power because he had all power in his hand. When too much is too much, you have to push through your inconvenience. You have to propel to your position. Amen.